My name is Belinda Schultz, and my research topic was cohabitation before marriage. The title of my research is First Comes Love, Then Comes What? Cohabitation has increased over 900% in the last 50 years. Many couples in 21st century America, and actually the world, tend to want to test drive a relationship before making a serious commitment. However, living together before marriage doesn't always guarantee that the relationship will be a success. As a matter of fact, several studies have proven opposite. Lauren Fox poses the question in her article, The Science of Cohabitation, A Step Toward Marriage, Not a Rebellion, poses the question of, is it living together before marriage that causes relationships to fail, or is it the age that someone decides to get into a serious commitment? Research shows that if couples wait until after 23 years old to marry or to even live together, then the divorce rate dramatically drops off. However, couples who live together between the ages of 18 and 23 show a 60% rise in a divorce rate. After 23 years old, that divorce rate drops to 30%. Census data from 2012 shows 7.8 million couples living together compared to 2.9 million in 1996. Lauren Fox comes to the conclusion that it's not whether you live with a partner, but how you live with a partner. However, with that being said, there are several risks involved in living together before marriage. Some of those are unplanned pregnancies. Lauren Fox states in her article, cohabitation fosters enough intimacy to facilitate childbearing, but not enough commitment to make people deliberate about their choices to become parents. One of the risks is unplanned pregnancies, therefore children that aren't taken care of. Liv Johan Sveltek wrote an article about Norway entitled Sense and Sensibility, Cohabitation and Cohabitation Land. America doesn't take the honor of couples living together, the most couples living together before marriage. That definitely goes to Norway. The majority of young couples in Norway cohabitate. They look at cohabitation in two different ways. It's either a variation on marriage or looser ties in intimate relationships. They call this liquid love, indicating that relationships change, that there shouldn't be a commitment. 92% of Norwegians born between 1980 and 1984 have cohabitated. However, the divorce rate is still higher in those that cohabitate than those who do not. Rhonda Johnson wrote an article entitled An Analysis of Factors Affecting Adolescent Attitudes Toward Cohabitation Before Marriage. She interviewed over 3,000 young adults, and out of those young adults, 1,900 of them who were in the grades between 7th and 12th grade responded. She wanted to know what the effects of cohabitation were on these young adults. She found the effects of cohabitation in increased depression. They were worried because their parents weren't married and just living together, that their parents wouldn't stay together. Many of these same students witnessed infidelity in their parents' relationship, which in those very same students caused sexual promiscuity. They noticed when these children became adults that there was less sexual satisfaction. These children also had difficulties in communicating with one another or with even their partners in the future. And in these children whose parents were living together, it was noted that they had worse relationships with their parents. Out of this survey, Adolescent Attitudes reveals that 64 males and 55% of females feel it is okay to live together. So that was 64% of males and 55% of females feel that it is okay to live together. Jefferson Bethke created a video, a really short but powerful video on YouTube, and he did a social science study that dated back to the 1980s. And it revealed that cohabitation leads to divorce and damaged children. It creates the hazard of disillusion. So when these couples are in this relationship, it appears that everything's okay, but truly it's not. He found out that 80% entirely break up before marriage. So just just because they're living together didn't always guarantee that they were going to get married. And for those that did get married and who had lived together before marriage, 12% of those relationships lasted only 10 years beyond the point of marriage. He believes that cohabitation creates a consumer-based relationship. In other words, they want to, like I said in our opening, they want to test drive a relationship. They believe these relationships are easy and economical. They believe they test compatibility. However, you get to the point where there's no covenant, there's not a commitment, so these marriages fail. He wants America to know that marriage is not a commodity, and they want to look at marriages as being beneficial, but with no responsibility. Now, Boniface Makoko wrote a book called Test Drive Before Saying I Do. He interviewed several couples across the entire world, and he came to some of the same conclusions we've already discussed. However, he found out that many believe cohabitation is an easier way to enjoy a marriage-like relationship. He found out that most people, most of these couples that he interviewed, believe that marriage is useless. It's only a piece of paper. What he did find interestingly enough is that men do not find marriage attractive. Women do. And it's a worldwide phenomenon. Cohabitation isn't just located in America, it's all across the world. What he did find, though, in every country across the world, Christianity and Islam were not in favor of cohabitation. Now, what did we find out about all of these studies? We found out that children are more likely to suffer. We found out that couples are more likely to get divorced. We found out that in these relationships, there was more likely to be sex outside of marriage because there wasn't commitment, or sex outside even the relationship if the couples weren't married. And a great percentage of these relationships, we found out that there was even domestic violence because these people feel stuck. They're now committed to wanting to each other financially. And we also found out that the emotional well-being of these couples was dramatically decreased to those who were in a happy marriage. So, in conclusion, cohabitation is costly in the long run. It causes uncertainty in relationships, and we do finally find out that the benefits of marriage certainly outweigh those of cohabitation.